Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How y'all feeling? How's everything? How's everybody? Cam, how you feeling? Cameron.
Good morning,
Sorry.
good morning, good morning.
How's it
I'm feeling
going?
well rested,
Good.
inspired. Faith over
Okay.
fear.
Oh, okay.
Went to an amazing book talk at the National Museum of African American History and Culture last night.
What
Got to
was it
go with my
about?
dad. It was a book talk. The book is called Faith Over Fear. It was a new book, soon to be national bestseller by Michael Leach, the country's first ever National Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at the White House. It was an NFL executive. It's really powerful talk. You ever meet a person who speaks in like quotables and phrases that you're like, oh, I need to write that down. I need to write that down. Distance creates distortion. Faith over fear. It's really good.
Good. I love that. Did the book drop already?
Book dropped. Book
Okay.
dropped.
All right. So you heard Michael Leach dropped a book, Faith Over Fear. You can find it. Oh, there you go. Bang bang.
Hardcover. Nice.
Okay,
Free
fancy.
promo, but I promote. I support my
I know
friends.
we should definitely support. We should definitely promote. We should definitely support. I get yeah. Today is Harriet Tubman Day. So at Black Girl Ventures, I'm the CEO and founder of Black Girl Ventures. So I get to choose what I do with my team, and we do not get Columbus Day off, but we get Harriet Tubman Day off. So we are closed
I
today in
like that.
observance of Harriet Tubman Day.
Oh, you're
Um,
closed for it. I like that.
Yeah, we are closed today in observance of Harriet Tubman Day. Harriet Tubman Day is an American holiday in honor of abolitionist Harriet Tubman, observed on March 10th. And it says in the state of New York, and there's observances that happen locally in the state of Maryland because that's where she was for quite some time. So, yeah, today is Harriet Tubman Day. Get into it. All right, do something radical today. Uh, but we will. Oh, look, invited a good morning. She said, because I always say, like, what should my closing? You know what? That would be my word today. What should our closing phrase be of the 30-day show? Every day I always be like, all right, y'all. See y'all later. Have a good, yeah. And then we just be, and then we just
I
hop
say
off.
peace,
Peace.
but
I mean, that's great. That's great. You should say that. You know what I'm saying? But I think it'd be good to, and no shade on the peace. We need definitely need peace. You know, when people say peace,
in the Middle East,
that's literally my
literally
brain is programmed from what was that? 19, was that the early 2000s?
88. That
Oh, that
peace in
was
the
like,
Middle East. That was
yeah,
like
when was
I
that?
feel like I've been saying that since I was a child in the
Me too. And
90s.
it's burnt. It's like in my brain. Every time somebody says peace, literally my brain says in the Middle East because that was like rappers were saying it. Like it was all over. Everyone was like a pop
Low key,
culture.
we need to bring it back.
No, for real. No, but for real. Oh, and you didn't even tell me that Chrissy Noam resigned.
She didn't resign. She got fired.
Well, okay, resigned. Okay, that's what the news said yesterday. That's what I saw.
You must have been
But
watching Fox News because every other thing is she was literally fired.
by Congress because of the ICE stuff. What's the
No,
full
no,
report on it
by
though?
Trump.
What's
But
the full
all the
report though? I'm expecting you to bring these things. Okay, so what's the full report that happened yesterday? We could have talked about that yesterday.
it
But
didn't
what's
happen yesterday. This happened last week.
Oh, okay. What happened last week? Well, we should have been talked about it. So you making my point. It is
No,
saying thank you, Evadine. Thank you. Because it is saying they are saying that she resigned. But if she got fired, cool. I don't care. I'm just saying that we should talk about it. That's
Trump.
my point.
Look, AP News. Trump fires Homeland Security Secretary Noam after mounting criticism. This was 4 days ago, March 5th. On
Either
President on
way,
Yeah.
the moral of the story is we didn't talk about it. So that's
And what's worse is she replaced he replaced her with. Uh the silly, like, the extreme senator who was a former, he thinks he's a UFC fighter, Oklahoma Republican Senator Mark Wayne Mullen. And when they talk about DEI, this is a meme that's been going around. and talking about we're ending DEI because it's a meritocracy. And they're like, they'll say Ketanji Brown Jackson graduated here, top of her class, all this other
Mm.
stuff. And they call her a DEI hire. Mark Wayne Mullen, 2 year college, 2 year associate's degree, drop out of regular college, never had a day of law enforcement or anything in his life. And now he's the Secretary of Homeland Security
This is the
because he's a
biggest
Trumper.
like this is the biggest like the showcase of it's all about who you know that's right in our face that I've ever seen. Like we knew it was like, oh, it's who you know. We knew that, but no, it really is who you know. Like this is literally like no, it's who you know. And then I guess in some instances who you can be controlled by. Cause there's after
I
watching
think
that
it's more of
documentary,
that.
I agree. After watching that documentary, The Age of Disclosure, where it's the whole thing I told you about extraterrestrials on it, what I'm realizing is that and I mean I knew this, so it's not like I didn't know it, but like we don't really know who's in charge of our government for real. I'm starting to think like Congress and the president is just a front. That's like the McDonald's that the FBI works out of. You know what I'm saying? It's becoming a scheme that Todd set up. You know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I mean? It's like it is not. This is not real. Like
Who's in
somebody is
control
making
of
sure
our
these people
government?
who is in control. Yeah, it's a secret batch of people that are faceless, um, that are really in control of our government at certain levels, and that makes it so hard to just be a trusting citizen. You know what I mean? So like, I don't like to talk about that publicly because I'm really not trying to push everybody into like conspiracy theories and fear because I think that's exactly some of the plot. So I'm gonna digress on that, but I saw this post where uh this woman, she was saying like, I don't know why these women don't get it. Like they're making women the problem. Look at they're putting all the women on the forefront of all the things. So you got Pam Bondi, you got Chrissy Noam, you got she was two other people that I can't think of at this moment. That she had on like a post, and she was like, and then they'll get fired, or then they'll be the blame. So then they're getting, they having these hearings in front of Congress, and they're getting all this extra questioning. Chrissy Noem is like that's a first example. I think it's gonna happen to more of the women that they put in charge. Then it's like, oh, the women are the problem. So they put the women in there, and then eventually it's gonna be like, yeah, she don't know what she's talking about. See, we tried y'all. Y'all know what y'all talking about, and then kick them out, and then put in a man that absolutely does not know what he's talking about. And she said, I went that she was like, "There's no big. This is also a big showcase of hatred for women." And I was like, "Wow, I actually didn't put that together like that."
A
And
big
then
showcase of hate for women. I could see that.
I could see that. It's kind of crazy. They gonna f around and find out. They don't want to listen. They don't want to believe. Early in the show we was talking about, well, just early in the show, like 9 minutes ago, we were talking about the closing suggestion for what I should say at the end of the show. Ivadine, part of the morning crew, shout out to you. Sorry I couldn't get you on yesterday, but we appreciate you for always tuning in. She thank you for being an Omi homie. She wrote that I should end with, this is the 30-day show, but we have forever to be our best. See you all tomorrow. Oh, that's cute. I do kind of like that. I do kind of like that. I'm gonna think about it, but I do kind of like that. We have forever to be our best. I do like that. Um,
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
yeah, that'll work. I haven't figured it out yet, but y'all give me some suggestions. What do y'all think the sign off for the show should be when we end the show? Then what do you think it should be? Hello, 3Z Charm, Kim Roxy, Jay Sutton, the Mentor Mogul, Edward One, J6. How do people come up with their usernames, yo? Edward 1J65, John Hawkins 826, the only Miss Daniels, BOP the Dream Maker.
Sometimes
What's up?
sometimes it gets it to you.
That might be what it is. People who have like their name and then have like the numbers at the end. That's probably what it is. Shout out to y'all Morning Crew for tuning in. I think it looks like LinkedIn is working today. So hopefully my folks on LinkedIn will be able to see it. Um Also, I'm gonna keep plugging this throughout the show. Happy National, not National, Happy Harriet Tubman Day to everybody. That's what today is. Also, today in history, on this day in 1779, the hymn Amazing Grace was published in print for the first time. John Newton, a British naval midshipman and an abolitionist whose spiritual conversion led him to renounce a career in slave trading, wrote the hymn Amazing Grace.
Hmm. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. How
Yep. There
sweet
you
does
go.
sound.
The more you know. All right. We have our first guest here. Tiffany Ingram, who's also been joining us on the live stream, part of the morning crew, on LinkedIn. So I'm excited to see what she got going on. Cause this will be my first time, I think, meeting her. So this is dope. Here we go. Welcome to the stage. Welcome, Tiffany.
Good morning, good
Hello,
morning, good morning, good
Tiffany.
Hey,
morning. Hey, y'all. Hey.
how you feel? Where are you?
So I am located in Rockford, Illinois, but this is my lovely, lovely basement office, you guys. So welcome. Come
Oh, it
on
looks
in.
nice.
It
Thank
looks
you.
Rich wood
nice.
tones. Rich wood
Uh huh.
tones.
Man, it's giving what it needs to give. It's giving.
Yeah, it looks like you're in like an office building. I love
Yeah.
that.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. It's the columns. The columns are giving like nice
Listen,
like
that's what everyone says. Like it's the columns for me. It's either I'm in an office building or I'm in the basement of somebody's church. That's what I always get. So I'm like, okay.
it gives okay, I see
I
that.
can see that too.
I definitely give
Because
basement of a
that in
church.
between those columns, you could convince me that's a pew.
May the Lord bless this business. So thank you.
I love that. I love that. Okay, wait, I'm typing it up so we can make sure we get you on screen what you're working on.
Okay.
Do you have Instagram?
Yes. So it is LuxLink Business Solutions on Instagram. All the channels actually.
Okay. Lux Link Business Solutions. Tell us about what is Lux Link's Lord have mercy. Try to say that 3 times fast. Lux Link Business Solution do.
So we are a boutique advisory firm that really helps executive teams and organizations strengthen their workforce strategy, their governance, and just their overall organizational design before they decide to do any major transformation. So with the big focus being on AI right now, that's what I'm really helping clients do. Get your people ready, get your house in order.
Mm.
Before you even bring this disruptive technology into the four walls of your company. Because I started, so I have a decade and a half of experience in human resources. I tell people I know I don't look a day over 21, but please believe me. And so what I've seen throughout my career is when initiatives fail, it's because you put the cart before the horse, really. You've not prepared your people. You've not been honest with yourself about where your organization stands, your processes, your procedures, the guidelines that you have set forth. Are they communicated? What's your change management plan? You've done none of that. So, literally, I've seen, again, initiatives fail time after time because of that. And so when my role was eliminated on December 6th of 2024, I just had to make a decision. It was, hey, do you want to stand 10 toes in your business or do you want to go back to corporate America? And I chose me.
I love that.
So,
So one of the things I would say that I have that is a growth area for me for sure is change management.
mhm,
Like
mhm,
I am like, and the bigger we got, the more challenging it became. When it
yeah,
was like me and 3 people, me and 5 people, me and volunteers and one full time person, me and volunteers and 2 people on staff. Like when it was that, it was easy. It'd be like,
yeah,
hey, we're no longer doing this. We're just gonna do that. Hey, y'all, stop doing that. Do this. Hey, don't use that. Use this. Like it was very, very simple. But when you get to over 10 people, is where I see it being the hardest. Like after you get to over 10 people, there's like you got to really think about culture in a different way.
mhm,
And a part of that culture is how do you manage change?
yeah,
And I think that like I still don't know that I'm doing it the best, but I would just say that like it's one of those things where I feel like I could have some more study. So talk to us about there change management usually refers, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, internal changes that are being made. But we are having such a rapid changing environment, like world outside of the company you're running, that some of that is dictating the need from change for
Yeah.
change, even sometimes more so than whatever the new decision you're going to make culturally in your company.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing you talk about prep. How do you even think about preparing to use AI? Like, I think a lot of people like, no, use it to do your job better. But should people be putting guardrails and SOPs or privacy policies even
Yes.
around it?
All of the things. So I think change management starts with transparency, right? You can say you don't know what you don't know, right? People will respect you more when you're honest. And so I would also say a lot of the external factors that happen outside of an organization still may require a conversation, because some people may need to understand where you stand on which side of the road, right? So the whole thing with DEI, right? I joined an organization because they were very, very vocal about how they felt about, again, the things that were happening to oppress like Black people. And I was like, oh, I want to work for you, right? And so then when I got in there, it was like, oh, okay, I'm the only one that looked like me in here. I don't know about this. But
Mm.
you know, sometimes you have to say something so people understand where you stand on either side. Now, getting back to what you said, you most definitely have to have guardrails with AI. You need to have a policy. You need to tell employees how it will be used, where it will be used, where it will never be used. Because if you leave it up to them,
Mm.
they will figure it out, and it may not be for your benefit. So I always tell people, put the governance in before you bring in the tool. Now, what's happened is that we've allowed everybody, hey, you bring a tool, everybody brings a tool, and nobody knows what it's doing. You don't know what information is being put in there. You don't know, and we all know AI hallucinates. So who's checking the checker? Who owns the decision in the event that there's a breach, right? Who or if something goes well. So we always go to the negative, but who's on first and who's on second? And I think that's important for any organization to know. So I've told clients that, hey, I had one client, we don't use AI here. We're anti-AI. I said, have you communicated that? Is there a policy? Well, no. Well, you need to tell people. So definitely you wouldn't just hand the keys over to your business to anyone and just say, "Hey, do whatever you want." So I would say definitely put something in writing, communicating it effectively, make sure people understand again where AI should never be and how it will be used in your organization. Governance is big.
Yeah. No, I think that's right and it's so funny. Go ahead, Kim.
I'm sorry. No, I was gonna ask, like, when people come and tell a company they have change agents, like, I'm always curious, like, how you lead into that conversation or how you lead into finding it, because some business owners, organization owners may know they need some change,
Mhm.
but I'm always curious how they find a person and settle on, you're the right person to help me change.
So I think that's a two-way, of course, that's a two-way conversation. And a lot of people are not going to come out and say, hey, I need to change it, because they don't know what to call it. They're going to say, hey, I'm going through a major transformation. And I don't know quite how to handle that. And as a person that's a change agent or knows that, hey, this person's really saying you need change management, what I'm going to say is that, okay, you want to make sure that you're bringing your people along on the journey, because all of my frameworks and everything are people first. So I look for that in potential clients. If you're a person that really cares about your workforce, I'm the consultant for you. If you're looking to find someone to bring in AI to reduce jobs and all these things, I'm not her, right? And I'm very clear with that. So I listen with intention to say, okay, what is it that you're really looking for? Oh, you're looking for a person to help you bring your people along on this journey because you know that you don't have the infrastructure to do that. And that's how I'll say that back to them. Not, hey, you don't have the infrastructure, but I say, you really care about your culture, you really care about your people. And so again, this is a major initiative that's going to affect your bottom line. Okay, this is how I can help you.
Real quick, I want to Maria. Shout out to Maria. She said LinkedIn is working, but the but the comments, she's not sure if the comments are. I know, again, LinkedIn wasn't built to be a streaming platform, so the hiccups there. That's why that's happening. We
It's
are
getting
live
there
there,
though.
but
It's getting there.
it's it's live again. Yesterday it wasn't live. Today it's back. But definitely, well, we're clearly seeing that it's not built to be live every day, but it's okay. They're gonna get it together. Maria said something that I want to address though in the comments on Instagram. She said, you said you mentioned like AI hallucinates. She said it doesn't hallucinate. We don't have an understanding of how it was built. No, that's not true. I'm sorry, Maria. AI does hallucinate, and it is a fact, and we all know it. And even the people that built it know it. The engineers know it. And because what happens from an engineer standpoint on the back end, and this is, we're seeing it just to get scientific for a minute on the with the what we're seeing on the AI side is that you actually have interaction with it, so you see it happening in front of you real time. But if we're being honest, from an engineer standpoint, code always had the ability to shift in a way. So like you can run a code, 100 times
Yeah.
and it's fine, and then 101 something like shift. I mean, let's say what we're talking about with LinkedIn, for example. We're doing the exact same function. The code is doing the exact same thing, but for some reason, it is having a glitch somewhere, and it just does that. That's just a fact of like.
Yeah.
That's why you have to keep getting updates. That's why you have to get iOS updates. You have to get updates on your because they're constantly fixing patches. Now, what Apple has kind of figured out is how to release a phone knowing that there's going to be challenges and knowing it and letting that go, and then being like, oh, we're just gonna keep pushing patches when we want to do something, because they control the entire system versus some other systems or some other phones that don't control like the hardware and the software at the same time. I mean, now we've evolved to a place where like Google and Android are in one, but like it didn't used to be that way with anything else other than Apple in terms of controlling the hardware and the software. So it gave them the ability to constantly push patches. Now what we're seeing though with AI is, yes, you can run, and eventually it'll tell you something that's not true.
Yep.
And then you're like, there's times when I've challenged it, like, hey, actually, that's not true. And then it'll go, you know what? You're right. It's not.
You're right. I had to give a quote. No, I said, hey, I need for you to reference some experience. And I put my resume in there, and it said I worked in the healthcare. And I'm like, check Keisha. No, I did not. Like, what is happening here? And so that's what I mean by hallucinations, giving false information. That again, where did you get this from? And that's what I had to ask it, because I'm a why person. Like, how did you get this? Where did you get this from? Oh, I just wanted to beef it up a little bit because me and Keisha have some great conversation. I'm like, we deal in honesty and integrity over here. So that's what I mean by hallucinating, getting false information out of nowhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, if there's another term that you're referring to, Maria, got it. She says she's an AI systems director and she's working it all day, but it's not a hallucination. I don't know what you call it in your
whatever
industry,
the term is, please
but
educate me.
it gives
No,
false
it's called
information.
hallucination. It's called
It is
hallucination.
called hallucination, but it is absolutely what it's called. In fact, there's even companies. There's a company that I met with while I was at CES. They're working on, and there's a bunch of different people working in this area. So everything can be an industry, by the way. So the fact that it's giving wrong information, there's people who are like, they're doing work to like try to filter the wrong information for like finance systems and things like that. So they're building companies that like monitor the hallucinations and then correct them and all that. So like there's a whole thing there. But yeah, it does give false information. It's not perfect, and that's why I think we won't ever be completely obsolete as a human race.
Yeah.
But there's that. So back to change management. So what kind of changes you're talking about, changes with like using AI? It's interesting that I was going to say this earlier. It's interesting that you said that, because I think we have so much conversation around how there's no privacy with the AI, right? I see a lot of posts that are like, anything you're putting in there, just keep in mind, it could be used in court, or it could be used here, or it could be considered this, or you're training the model for other people, or you know what I mean? You're training the model for other people, or you might your information might be public or something like that. But I'm not hearing conversation around internal governance of your organization to say we don't use it for HR, or we use it for everyday mundane tasks, but here's your limitations on where you can use it. In building BGV, I have had those moments where everybody had a bright idea about what tech they wanted to use, and then
Mhm.
they would just start using it. So we had to put like guardrails around, like, no,
Yeah.
okay, we use Airtable, we use Zapier, we use this, we don't use, whatever this other platform is that you think is great. Like, we don't use Asana. Somebody might think Asana is great. We don't use Asana, right? Like, we don't use Notion, right? You
Yeah.
might think Notion is great and it might be best for you, but we don't use Notion.
Yeah.
And so here's the limitations. Here's what you can't do from a governance perspective. So I think people out there, as you're thinking about building your company, and the more people come and work for you, how do you want them to work? And how do you govern what platforms they work on? What are
Yep.
some key,
Ooh.
what would you say are some key like SOPs everybody needs to have, like in the very beginning of what you're building?
So I would say definitely the AI policy, right? So starting there to understand what it will be used for, define it within your organization, right? What it is, what it will be used for, how it will be used, um, and what won't be used. So, well, the list of what won't be used may be a little bit longer, but I would just say, what are your, so like you said, hey, we're using Airtable. We're going to use a lot of Microsoft products have Copilot. We're going to use Copilot and Copilot only. Clearly identifying that in the policy, because that's something you're going to communicate to new hires when they come on board, right? As you're going through their onboarding period, they're going to go through, okay, here's how we use AI, or it maybe even be a conversation in the interview, because a lot of these people coming into the workforce, they want to know, like, are you a tech savvy or tech forward thinking company, right? So you need to be able to communicate that. Also, so the AI policy, I would also say create a committee or like a governance committee, because here's the thing, there may be a tool that comes out that's a lot better, and can scale with your organization
Mm-hmm.
a lot faster. Because what I'm seeing is that a lot of my clients will say, hey, I want this tool, and I'll ask them, okay, what's your 3-year goal, your 5-year goal, your 10-year goal? And they'll say, okay, this is my 3-year, this is my 5-year. Okay, let's find a tool that's going to scale with you. So you're not changing tools every several years, right? So you want to have some sort of committee put together that can discuss these tools, because your employees, some of your best ideas will come from your employees, right? They know they're doing the work. So have a committee form so they can review the request to bring on a new tool, have at least a discussion about it. And then, you can make a decision to say, you know what, we're going to remain with Airtable, or we're going to go with this one because it's a lot better. So the policy of how it'll be used. Um,
Oh,
oh, go ahead.
question there. Is there a test period? And like, how does that, so if
Hmm.
you're a small organization or a small company,
Hmm.
right? And you're like, we actually don't know which one to use.
Yep.
How should they determine? Because I mean, again, it's considering that what you do is prep. Is like, okay, AI is here, AI is coming,
Yep.
AI is what everybody's gonna be using, right? There's several different versions of it,
Yep.
right? And so then, what do you suggest, again, if you're small, how you're getting to the point of making a decision that you only use this one or that one? I think that, like,
Yeah,
before we decided to use Airtable, child, we was using Google
we
Sheets, we was
same
using.
thing. We on Google. I think even one step level up from what Omi is saying is when you're small, if you're a one person or
Hmm.
maybe a 5, 10, 20 persons or under, how do you assign people to keep on the look about what's new AI? Because you can just once I we make decisions, organizational shifts even in small companies are hard. I know you have to do them to adjust to the business, but you don't always want to keep shifting
Yep.
so no one so you can't focus on, because unless your business is our business is focused on shifting. It's like you got to focus on what actually is making you money or what actually is bringing you value.
Hmm.
How do you assign somebody to, in this day and age, to like keep up with tools? Like,
Mm.
I try to do it at the head of my company because I'm always looking, but I know it slips through the cracks. New things come up all the time.
Yeah. So there's two things. So I'm a solopreneur, and one of the, well, a couple of things that I do. And then I advise other small business owners is to I set up different alerts. Like I'll set up tasks in ChatGPT. Um, Run me tools that do XYZ. I also use Perplexity to do research. So back to your point, Cam, having or even empowering the people that are doing the work when you're having your one-on-one conversations, or if you're having your I'm just going to say an HR meeting, team meeting, have a section or a part of the meeting that talks specifically about tools. Get them involved in the process, because you're right, you can't change and you can't be on top of everything unless you're a solopreneur and you don't have a choice. But it's carving out that time to have that discussion about what's happening in our industry, how is it being disrupted, what new tool is out there. Maybe you only talk about one or two, but keep the conversation going, because if nobody's assigned it, it's not going to get done, right? We all know if I don't put a date or a time by something, I'm not going to get it done. So it's like being intentional with putting that in as an item, whether it's during a one-on-one conversation, whether it's during now, if you're a small business, you're just going to have to, when you're blocking out your time, this is my AI tech discovery time. That's what I do. And I do that every Friday. It's a ritual. Like, okay, here are the tools that I use to do research. How can it be used? And that's how I keep up with it.
Yeah, I think guess it is a good question on like how you keep up with the trends.
Yeah.
We have a team administrator. So I have her looking out and maybe like my EA. And then I think like new employees actually have been really great at being like, oh, y'all use that? What about this? Right.
Yeah.
And I think like, and then bringing it to the table at least. Like, what about this? I'm probably the techiest person on my team, which is also interesting. So I'm probably keeping it up with more than everybody else is, but I think, yeah, I think it's just I think too as needs come up, I ask myself a couple things. Is this a systematic need?
Yeah.
Or is this a one-off need?
Yeah.
Right? Like because when I think about like adapting a new tech, of course across the company, then I'm asking myself, is this going to be something that is going to be a part of like our rhythm on a daily basis? Like
Yeah.
is this going to count for a couple different business functions, right? Like storage, review, data, and all that's still related to like storage, right? So it's like
Yeah.
there's storage and then there's like processing of information. What does that look like? Then how do we have like how do we retrieve things?
Yeah.
So like I think I'm actually breaking it down to very basic business
Yeah.
fundamentals of how your business is operating. And then I'm going systematically what is necessary, right? There may be something like events management or contract management, like things that we're going to really use on a regular basis. And then I'm tracking for that industry. Sometimes our founders will bring us things too. I mean, like our audience will bring us things and go, you know, hey, I'm using this. Have y'all thought about that? It's rare though that we completely shift to a new product.
Yeah.
Like I'm at year 10 and I would say like we started using Airtable maybe 2021. Now, do I think Notion is probably has some healthy pieces to it? Do I think Asana has some great pieces to it? I do, but I'm not switching. It's like we're not
I'm not
switching.
switching.
You know what I mean? It just does what it does. But the AI conversation is I think is a little different because now we're talking about like operationally working on a regular. Like I'm working with this tool every day. I'm talking to it every day.
Yeah.
We hadn't used anything where we were like literally talking to it and it was talking back to us every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that's where it came into be. That's where AI is shifting a little bit because okay, so you got to store something in. We might open up Airtable every day, check a task, store something. Blah blah. You might have to send an email, or the copywriter is time to send a newsletter, so she's open up whatever email platform we're using, whatever. But something that we're talking to every day, I actually hadn't thought much about putting like governance around that.
Yeah.
Now we do have like some custom GPTs that I made around like fundraising, or like I made a GPT that's like for the team. So all of our policies are in it, our handbook. So if you're like, can I take off today? You can just ask it and it'd be like, no. You know what I mean? So it's like, no, you need to do X, Y, and Z, take X, Y, and Z steps. We have stuff like that. But I think it's interesting to think about like how you govern it. And you can only control it, but for so far, I guess. Like, you got putting the governance in place is letting people know you are observing the guardrails and there'll be consequences if you're not following this governance. Um, but yeah, and I
Well, I
forgot
mean,
what my question was that after the question you asked.
well,
Yeah.
I think too is just again giving the people the information that they want anyway. It's how am I supposed to do my work with AI too, right? And again, I don't think that I assume good intent. People wake up, they come to work in the morning, they want to do a good job. It's our responsibility as leaders to tell them, okay, this is what's allowed and this is what's not allowed. They'll take, because you're hiring good people, they're going to take that information and again apply it accordingly. So I think the governance piece is not just to show them or tell them, hey, this is what you're accountable for. It's like, hey, this is how I'm empowering you to do the work. And going back to something that Cam said, it's like, the being a small business owner, how do you manage the tools? It's pinpointing the problem, right? So you have to know what you're trying to solve in the first place and reverse engineer it and go back. When I first started, I went through Alicia Little's AI consultant program, and it took me about 6 months to complete. I got every tool, every subscription, everything, because I was just like, oh, I want to learn, I want to learn, I want to learn. And then again, 6 months later, I'm like, I don't need half of these because I don't do anything with them. So I asked myself and I created a framework around it. What is the problem that I'm trying to solve? And then working my way back. Okay, what's the best tool for me? And does this particular tool solve other problems that I have too? So I can get one instead of having four. Sometimes it's
Right.
better to have four, but it's like, why am I going to have four separate tools when I can just get one to solve all of these issues? So knowing what you're solving and tying it back to your business strategy is key.
Yeah. Also, like, like a platform like Higgsville, if you're doing a certain level of creation, has all the platforms in it or can access all the platforms. Um, uh, okay, so somebody asked, what's the single biggest governance mistake you see founders make before they need it? And what does prepared actually look like at the early stage?
Oh, that's a good one. So what's the single biggest mistake?
Governance mistake. Mm-hmm.
Them just bringing AI in. So when ChatGPT hit the scene, everybody was just using it everywhere, doing all the things. And what organizations are starting to find out is that employees that put proprietary information in there, employees have, and it's on their own personal ChatGPT, not something that's sponsored or given to them by the organization. And maybe that data isn't as protected because with ChatGPT upgrades in the back end, if you don't go in the very, very back where the personalization is, or no, it's security and privacy, and check, my information, I don't want it to train this model. It's using it to train it. So you have all type of personal information in there, or hiring decisions and performance management decisions are being made by ChatGPT that have caused some people to get in the news. So it's those things, just bringing it in without having a plan, which is with any tool. AI is a tool. It's no different than anything else. It's more advanced than some of the things that we've seen. But I think they not preparing and being prepared and understanding how and what and why it's going to be used and communicating that's been the single most the biggest mistake, where people are calling me like, I need your help now. You know what I mean? And what was the second question? I'm sorry, I get started and go down a rabbit hole.
How to be prepared at an early stage. But I think you answered it. I think it's
Yeah.
the knowing your like who, what, when, where, why kind of thing.
Yep.
Like knowing like exactly like why do you need this thing? Where's it gonna be most impactful? How you solving the problems you're gonna solve?
Yep.
And just like really doing some of that, like writing those things out. I
And
think you
preparing your
answered.
people, like training your people before you bring the solution on. And this is what I mean by that. Like there's AI literacy stuff that you can start having discussions about. The Department of Labor dropped their AI literacy framework, last month? And so it's, again, getting your folks used to understanding AI is coming. This is how we're using it, right? Here's some of the competencies that you're going to need. Train your folks before it gets there, because that creates anxiety. And I know you've been talking about wellness and well-being, right? I started my journey with AI out of fear. I tell anyone the story. I read an article with Klarna in 2023, and they eliminated 700 jobs, right? They were integrating AI and they removed 700, it was like 600 to 700 people answering the phones, customer service people. And I read that article and I was just like, oh my God, I clenched my pearls. And they were saying that if you were in customer service, that your job was going to be eliminated. So I leaned in and I started
Wow.
saying, hey, what do I need to learn to help me? And I don't want other people to feel like that, right? It shouldn't be a fight or flight response. Leaders, let's have this conversation, get your people trained on what they need to understand, how their jobs are going to be impacted. So just doing all that prep work, it's the unsexy work, but it's needed. So when you bring this tool in, your initiatives are successful.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing that. I think it was really good information, especially like I think there needs to be more conversation about change management. I feel like we don't talk about that. It's kind of like it's actually like organization development has been around for a really long time, and I think to Cam's point around like how do you know when you want someone, when you need somebody, like that you need somebody, but you don't know who you need. You don't know what that title is. Y'all use the term change agent, and I was like, I don't think I ever called it that. I was just like, hey, I need somebody in organization development. I need somebody that knows how to move change throughout the org. And I think that for me, what's interesting about change management, even right now, like I'm having to make some internal things. I'm gonna have to actually hire you. So because of all the DEI shifts and things like that, we're having to make different structural decisions.
Okay.
And I feel very clear on it. And I have explained it. I have explained it to people in one-on-one conversations. I've explained it to people in team conversations. I've wrote up whole documents about it. We've gone through the documents together. We have talked about it. And still people will ask me a question that I'm like, what? Like what? Why are you? I don't understand. Like, and they're like, well, because of the change, are we supposed to blah? And I'm like, what does that have to do with it? Like, what you just said has nothing to do with the change that I told you that we're making. And I gave you everything that's a part of the change that we're making, and it's in writing. Like, I don't know what else to do for you. And it gets me frustrated because I'm like, am I not explaining it? Like, what am I not doing that is helping them understand exactly what I now understand?
Yeah.
But I also had my own process of coming to the understanding that was my understanding.
Yeah.
And that sometimes that process takes too long because usually sometimes sometimes leaders, I think, especially founders or leaders, we hold a lot of the things. There's the emotions / like just the data and information on what we're holding on to, and we know we need to come to changes, but it's like how quickly can you come to that and get outside of yourself to make sure you make the change.
And it's also communicating it in a way that they're going to understand it. So I mean, you're saying it like I've had to when I'm communicating a message, because I spend a lot of my time in manufacturing, I've communicated to the professional staff, but a different message to the workers that are on the floor, because they all care about different things. So it's like the with them, what's in it for me, right? And you have to make sure that you're including that in your messaging, because I'm only going to care about what's in it for me. So if you're saying wonk, 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 like Charlie Brown's teacher, I hear you, but I don't really understand how this is really applying to me.
Applies to me. Yeah. That's real.
Yeah.
No. Thank you for that. This is really, really great and very informative. I appreciate you. Thank y'all for coming. Lux Business Solutions, Tiffany Ingram. And thank you for being a part of the Morning Crew and tuning in every day and checking us out. We appreciate that. Anything you want to lead the people with before you go?
Look, you can catch me outside in these IG streets. No, let me quit. No, find me on all social media platforms, Lux Business Solutions. And again, thank you guys for doing this. You changed my life last year. Like I went to the pitch competition. Me and two of my business besties, we went there, and again, that is my goal to pitch this year, but it really sparks a fire within me. just to see this happening. So again, just being connected with BGV there, and now this. Thank you for everything that you're doing, especially during this time, just to provide a platform for small businesses and people that look like me, you, just to, again, share the knowledge and share the wealth. So thank you. I wanted to tell you that.
Oh, thank you. Where are you based?
So I'm in Rockford, Illinois.
Illinois. Okay, so you're gonna be in Chicago. Okay, we come to Chicago.
Yes, I will
Okay,
be
we
there.
coming back.
Okay,
And this time, so okay, we come to Chicago, and this time you could pitch. You don't have to like apply or anything. We're doing a pull up and pitch there.
Oh,
So
not
this
a
is a different kind of
pull-up.
pitch. Yeah, it's called pull up and pitch. We're doing it in Chicago. In fact, hold up, I can give you the date. But so I absolutely want to see you pitching this time. Okay, we're gonna make sure you get up there. Now, don't take time for granted because it's gonna be a lot of people standing in line to pitch. So make sure you just get there, because what happens is people will go. So we'll go, okay, we're gonna start at 10 a.m. and then people will think they're gonna roll up at 9:30 and be at the front of the line. It's not gonna happen. People will be there super early, camped out sometime to pitch. So we will be in Chicago on May the 30th. So Pull 'em Pitch Chicago is gonna be May 30th. Pull 'em Pitch New York is gonna be July 18th. Pull 'em Pitch Detroit is gonna be March 28th. Pull 'em Pitch DC is gonna be somewhere within between September 10th and September the 12th. Right now, we're planning a one-day summit that'll be in DC. We're also doing because September the 10th will mark exactly 10 years from the day I had the brunch in the house. And so that's what we consider our anniversary. In Chicago, we're also going to do a mixer. So we're going to have like a gathering outside of the pitch competition as well. So stay tuned. Make sure you sign up for the email list of Black Girl Ventures. Because we're going to do quite a bit there.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, we love Chicago. Shout out to Chicago. Sorry we're not in Rockford, but we love Chicago.
It's okay. It's down the street.
We love Chicago. Chicago's a big city for us. They always support. Nike supports our work in Chicago, so shout out to Nike. We appreciate them for the impact work that they continue to do. Yeah, we'll be there. So I'm gonna see you then.
Yes, thank you.
All right, have a great rest of your day.
All right, you too.
Right. I have to go. I'm gonna go out. You know what? I need to do that more. I'm actually gonna run down what dates where I'm gonna be at what time for everybody more, so I can make sure y'all there. This year, as I said, marks 10 years of BGV. So as September the 10th will literally be the 10th year anniversary for BGV. And it's crazy. Today is March the 10th. I'm talking about September the 10th. And I'm talking about 10 years. Okay, so look at what 10 means for you.
And hold up, you should have waited exactly 22 minutes for that, so you could have said it at 10 a.m.
Right. Well, it won't be 10 for everybody, so there you go. But yeah, no, I love that, and I think one of the things I'm enjoying most. Oh, you know what else? Today is the 10th day of the show. Hey, look at what the number 10 means, okay? Because I actually didn't think about that. Today is the 10th day of the show. It's March the 10th. September the 10th is the 10-year anniversary of BGV. It's 10 years, okay? Hello, 10th is the number of the day. Literally. So look at what 10 means for you. Let's go. Okay. By the way, you know what? I want to apologize because I realized that I need to say your whole name, Cameron. Okay.
Why
for
you
the
say that?
record. Because I know that's what didn't you tell me that before, like you really want to go by Cameron Calvin. I got to make sure that I remember that. Because if I say Cam, then other people will say Cam.
This is true.
You know,
that's what seems to be happening.
so I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna make sure. So
we're on Twitch, aren't we?
We are on Twitch, and this is where this. I don't know. This is spam. Whoever this person is, they keep saying top viewers, whatever. I don't even want to read it because they're spamming. And I actually never go. I actually need to log into Twitch to see if anything is actually happening there. So if you're watching on Twitch, thank y'all for tuning in. I never actually go look at it. So I actually don't know if anybody's looking at it. Like I go look at the YouTube stats. I go look at the Instagram stats. LinkedIn is really interesting. And this is why I hate that it's not working as well, because what happens on LinkedIn when you do content, and depending on what level of, I don't know if this is, if you have a I don't know. Oh, no worries, Tiffany. It's my fault. I don't know if there is a oh, so Maria, the comments are working on LinkedIn. I don't know if it does this for free accounts, but I have a paid LinkedIn account. And so when I look at my content, I can see the level of job that the people work that are watching my content. So I can see that like five. I'm using low numbers just for the sake of conversation. So I can see that 5 CMOs watch my content, and 3 people who identify as CEOs watch my content, and 15 people who identify as CXOs watch my content. Like I can see like the different levels that people are at and how many of them are watching my content. The reason why that is important is because then I could target. I could really look at like who is my content catering to. Now, I'm a businesswoman, so I cater to executives all the way around. But I think that like it's interesting to see like how the people that are watching my content identify, because how do I want to use that data? Yeah. Also from
No,
like a
I think it
sponsorship
makes.
standpoint too.
So I just went on Twitch. We're on Twitch. I just watched me say we're on Twitch. I just because I saw I saw that Twitch comment. I was like, you know what? Twitch is part of my new. I'm
How
going
did you
live.
find it? Did you just look up Omi Bell? Like, how did you find
No,
it?
I looked up the 30-day show.
Oh, really? Okay, okay. And it came up?
We got two. Well, now we have one viewer. Maybe that second one was me watching it.
Right.
But yeah,
Right. And
I really
I
just
don't
wanted to see it. It's under you, Omi Bell, day 10 of the 30-day show.
okay.
Mhm.
Cool, cool, cool. All right, bet. And these views are not properly calculating, I don't think. So that's interesting too. Like right now, I can see it. Can you see the view number at the top of your screen? You can on
Mm,
StreamYard. So
mm-mm.
on StreamYard, I can see the number of people viewing, but I don't know exactly what it's based on. Like I don't know if it's based on LinkedIn. I don't know if it's based on YouTube. I don't know if it's based on StreamYard, and I don't know, or it's based on all of them in one, and I just don't know it. So I haven't figured that part out. Same thing with Instagram. Like sometimes, like you'll be looking at your view number, or the view number at the top will say or something will have a number, and then when you log off, it'll tell you like all these other people reviewing, and you're like, well, how did that work? I think to be honest, TikTok is probably the closest. And then if you're native on Twitch, I think it's more accurate. But coming from a software where you're streaming to these platforms, I think you never really know what the streams are, honestly. But whatever. All
I
right.
mean, I'm sitting here thinking like we're doing it. We're doing it no
Right.
matter.
Oh
I
no,
like
we
that. I
we
like
doing it.
that deep dive into the info. This is this sparked an idea. This resparked an idea, and this is idea to execution. So hold me to it, to 30-day show watchers. This needs to be out Friday. I had already started an outline around, and I'm sharing this publicly. So try to beat me to it if you can. Actually, no, don't try to beat me to it.
Well,
I
you're
think
gonna
the
have it done on
candidate.
Friday, so they can't beat you.
I think the candidate who wins the streaming wars or understands live streaming is the next really impactful political candidate, maybe for president and or the country. Because my thinking there is that streaming, not just how big it is, but now look at what we're doing now. The fact that we're streaming across multi platforms at once, creating real time connection with people. You literally put out a note. You literally put out a note to your already existing audience and got 3 people to sign up, 2 to 3 people to sign up per day for 30 days straight. We're streaming across multiple platforms, and this is on your show. Understanding both what you do with streaming as a political candidate, as a person looking to truly connect with people, but then also what streams and how you show up on other people's streams, because the data also shows, and both the empirical and the observational data, I believe it was it Mr. Beast? It was Mr. Beast who had had one of his online like shows or online game shows or whatever. And on this one specific one, he had influencers, content creators, celebrities, and streamers. And he made it. I watched him say this in an interview, Mr. Beast, and he was like, you could see when I brought out the celebrities, oh, a little bit of cheer. When I brought out some niche content creators, even or sports figures, more cheer. When I brought out some content creators, more cheer. But when I brought out the streamers, it was like
Mm.
the level of energy was next level. And when I
Mm.
think about the connection that you create live streaming, whether it's through video game live streaming, whether it's vlogging your life, whether it's around some specific whatever, I think the understanding of creating a live stream audience almost is makes you a little uncancelable, but it also creates such a deeper tie as people, and you're getting real deep fans. And like that's something that clicked with me when I realized I thought about it yesterday, but it really just clicked now in this last interview when I was sorry if you saw me stop. I just had to really say finish your streaming op-ed because like I created an outline. Now I'm gonna use this show as an example in the outline, but I really really strongly believe that and I think can
No, I
understand and
think
see
I
that.
think you're absolutely correct. Because what you got me thinking about, like while I was listening to you describe that thought, is there's also so because what it showcases is the understanding of capturing attention, but also depth in a way that like streaming everything as much as you can, right? Because some things, of course, is closed door. But streaming more things, I think is going to be the kicker to it all, right? Like the level of like I show speed streaming or the level of like Casa not streaming where they're like showcasing what they're doing. I think that like that is if somebody feels comfortable as a political candidate to stream at that level, because you know what it's gonna do? Raise money. Like like those subs all the day too. So like everybody wants to raise money from emails and all that and nice events and stuff. But like thinking about it from a money standpoint and like getting those subs and like literally talking to the chat like that. That if a political candidate gets to that level, that like and like Lord, don't let it be somebody from Trump's camp.
Cause
Please.
that's who's gonna they're gonna try that shit.
I think they
We
will try.
we
I
get
think they
to we
will.
get too nervous.
They're mindless enough and to just don't give about who's watching whatever they're doing. Because right now it could be so blatant in your face and they don't care if you like it or not like it or whatever. And that would be the people that would pick it up. I hope not. All right. Like who I would love to see a day in the life of Gavin Newsom. I would subscribe to that. He just seems so cool. I just love to watch what everybody do with his hair. How does it keep it so stiff? I don't know, but but whoever can get human at that level, you are saying something. They will absolutely win the streaming game and had a potential to get millions of people streaming, watching, and raise money doing it. And I think that's I think because I also think that like you tell me what you think about this. The Obama campaign, the way they had me opening them emails when I don't want to open emails, I don't know who was writing them freaking email headlines, the subject lines, but they were making me so curious that even though I knew I wasn't about to donate on that day, I was opening them emails anyway. So there was something about who was like Kim, who was that person? Can you find me the person that was writing the Obama subject lines? Because I really need to talk to him.
Oh, because they were fire.
Fire. I need to understand what their thought process was. I need to understand their strategic mind.
I think most people now sub it out to AI, but subject line is like the second most important thing in fundraising email or in email writing in general.
What's the first most important thing? Because I think it's the first. What's the first for you though? What are you saying?
uh, sender recognition.
Oh, okay. You're right. Yep. 100%. Yeah, we literally experimented with that this week. So at BGV we put together what's called thunderclap list. So you remember
That means
thunderclap?
something. You please explain that,
Thundercats.
because
Y'all know Thundercats though, right?
yeah, Thundercats.
Oh, all
Ho!
right. So there used to actually be
We're
this.
of a time. We're of a time, and they still ain't made no live Thundercat movie.
They didn't make a live Thundercat
No,
movie.
it's
I don't.
like
I don't think it's coming.
secretly in Hollywood. Like one of my two of my top. If you look at my top 10, 15 websites I look at every day or every week, one is comicbookmovie.com, another one is Screen Rant. And so Thundercats as a script and a movie idea has been like 30 years in the making, like 20 years. Like they've been trying to make this movie. They're like, does it look silly? Do we have people walking around looking like big cats? Anyways, I took us totally off.
All valid
Thunderclap.
points in 2026. All valid
Yes,
points.
I just love Thundercats. But anyways, keep going. Sorry, my bad.
So there used to be this tech, I don't know what happened to it, called Thunderclap. And what it would do is like if a certain amount of people reacted to your email, or like you would send a thing out, I think it was social media, but you would send it out, and if a certain amount of people interacted, it would then blast it to everybody's followers, their followers and yours. Now they probably ran into some privacy issues with that, but so your goal is to like get a certain amount of people to like it or interact with it, and if you did, it would blast it to everybody's followers. Like and it was like, I'm like, this is golden. Like, I love that. So,
I just Googled it. Yes, that was in the Tumblr days.
yeah,
Remember
it
when we
was
had
dope. It
Tumblr
was a dope
sites?
idea, but I don't think it's around no more. So anyway, Thunderclap list for me internal at BGV is I have all of my team. Now I'm telling y'all how the sausage is made, but I have all my team take their list of people that they've been interacting with, and they put them all in a certain, like, we all have like these different like email lists. So everybody gathers like anybody that they have interacted with, partners, like if you interact with certain partners, certain, like if you programs and you may have interacted with people in your particular program, but they have all those people over the course of all the time that they've been interacting, they put them all on a list. And then when we send the emails out, so like I'm about to roll out, we're rolling out Keep America Working. What we'll do is we'll send the email from that person's email, so that whoever they've been interacting with sees the email from them. So then it'll be several different emails going out. And so that's what, and we call them our thunderclap list. And it's because like when we're ready to make essentially a loud sound at once, then we hit the button and we send it out and we get people to respond. And we did it so recently. Nobody wants to answer surveys. Okay, that's the hardest thing right now. But we had the
For real?
programs team. Yeah, nobody cares about a
I'm
survey,
about to
child.
I'm
We'd
about to
be
put
hard
out a
pressed to
survey.
get somebody to respond. Now polling, like social media polling, productive. Freaking surveys.
Are you saying no one wants to answer surveys, like tell me how I did surveys, or surveys to get more information surveys?
Both. We are struggling with both. We're struggling with tell me how we did, tell us how you like the event. Then we're struggling with tell us where you are now. Like revenue or hiring or whatever, like people that we served. We're struggling with both. But anyway, the thunderclap list worked. So we got a lot of responses because the people who people recognize, sender recognition, they actually answered. So that was the moral of the story. All right, my next guest, I'm gonna
We got
bring up.
another?
Yeah, we do. We're gonna bring up Emma. Hello.
Hey y'all. Happy Tuesday.
How you feeling?
Hello, Emma. I can tell. I know exactly where Emma is.
You
Where?
She is in a computer booth, either in a really nice airport in the Delta Lounge or in WeWork or something like that. Am I right?
Pseudo. Yeah. It was a good shot. I'm in Vermont. We're in the our version of WeWork, which is like no big brand WeWork. It's called Hula. It's like put all of the climate hippies together into a co-working space, and we're good.
Okay.
Do you
Hi,
have
Emma. How you doing? I can
So
just see
lovely to
the.
meet you.
Oh,
My
Do you have
son's name is
a
Cameron,
Instagram that you
so
want people to follow?
oh, it is. Her son's name is Cameron. She's immediately
Yeah,
our
her
best,
son's
my
name is
favorite
Cameron.
guest. She's
Yeah,
yeah.
immediately our favorite guest.
And I
that's
checked out your
funny.
org after seeing you on Omi's show, and I love what you do. So this is awesome to get to meet you. Thanks for
Oh,
hosting,
thank
Omi.
you.
Yeah. Do you have somewhere you want people to follow you, like on Instagram?
I'm mostly on LinkedIn these days. You can do Emma BF. The full kahuna is Bloxburg Fire Obid. And so most people know me by Emma BF because it's very long. So LinkedIn, find me there. Thank you.
Okay, I'll just put LinkedIn and BF. All right, cool beans. So I'm excited. Emma's a good friend of mine. I'm excited that you're here because I feel like sales is one of the hidden gems that people don't talk about, and that like every small business owner needs to learn how to do. Like if you ain't learning sales, I don't know what you're doing. If you don't think about sales in some way or learn like the psychology of sales and what that looks like it's so important. But it's not something that you're gonna find at your average startup accelerator. It's not something that you're gonna hear people talk about. No, like people are not talking about sales all the time, right? And I don't know why. And if they do, they're talking about it from like make sales, but not like sales psychology, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So okay. So talk to us a little bit about what you do, where you're working on, and what should people know about it.
That sounds good. So, hey, y'all. So lovely to meet you. I myself in my sales journey was never taught it, even though I worked both in the nonprofit space and the fundraising seat, and then moved over to the biz dev BD is kind of the like phrase in consulting. And I thought it was sleazy. I thought sales is where just like people go to manipulate people. Like it was a place I was like, no, thank you. I'm not going here. And it wasn't until I had a mentor, her name is Jen. She ended up winning the lottery. Crazy stuff.
What?
She ended up winning multi-million-dollar lottery in Canada. So random. She's one of those people. She attracts all the money. That's why she was good in sales. And she invited me, basically like wooed me over to her sales team. I was on a project manager role for a while. And I told her, I was like, I don't believe in sales. Like it feels sleazy. I don't know why we're doing it. And she said, let me tell you something. When I'm on a sales call, the first 80% of the call is a nothing but work, anything but work conversation. So we talk about anything but work. I ask about family, I ask about health, I ask about other things. And it is not until that last 20% of the call that we're even talking about sales. And when she said that, I could tell she was telling me the truth because, you know, sometimes people say things and it turns out to not be true. You can trust that. And I was like, okay, maybe this actually is a way to sell. And just a year later, I launched my business. I moved from corporate into launching Emma BF Consulting LLC, the easiest way to launch a business. Just put your name on it and then put Consulting LLC. Done, you're launched. And I practiced it, you know. I launched in 2021. I've probably had like 230 sales calls of my own. Many that were no's and many that were yeses. And it wasn't until just this last year I started reaching out to my people and asking what are they struggling with the most in business, and the answer was sales.
Let's talk about what is happening psychologically there when like you're spending the first 80% of the call just chopping it up. Because I think sometimes like people get a little anxious during that time, and they get a little like I think if you don't vibe, especially if you don't immediately vibe with the person. You know what I mean? Like if you on a call and you don't immediately vibe with the person, then it doesn't, you know, you're trying to figure out what to say or like what conversations to kind of have, you know, what's happening there. But what's the psychology behind why you spend 80% not talking about sales and then you spend 20% talking about sales? And in that 80%, what are you talking about?
This is where my like grandfather, who was basically like a Tuesdays with Maury kind of guy, like you could sit with him at coffee.
Oh my God, that's one of
talk
my
for
favorite
hours.
books,
I'm
by the
just
way.
like, I don't know, y'all. It's just in my DNA. Like I
Mitch
give
Albom
people
is my
prompts,
favorite
but
writer.
oh, I love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, but psychologically, I mean, have you heard from from a marketing standpoint, the know, like, trust factor? Like, your goal in marketing is to create a know, like, trust factor so that buyers
Say
are
that.
even
Say
coming
that
to the
a no like as not NO like or KNOW like.
KNOW.
yeah. So
Know
they
you,
know
like you,
you,
trust you.
they have to know you, they have to like you, and they have to trust you before there's even like an openness to a buyer conversation. So you're laying that groundwork, right? Like in those conversations, if I've never met someone before, I'll ask them how their day is going. I'll ask them what this like, is this a busy time of year for you? That's one of my favorite opening questions. It's a busy time of year
That's
for
actually
you.
a good one.
Good. Yeah, take it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one because people will just start telling you, things that you
Yeah,
could pull
exactly.
from.
I'll also ask like, what's lighting you up these days? That's another good
Ooh, I
one.
like that. What's lighting you up?
Yeah,
That's a
really
good way to ask the same question. Like
what I
a
love in
different version of
sales,
that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's tapping into vision. You know, they did research. It was a while ago. It was 2008 research, but they did all this research comparing male and female leaders. I mostly work with female entrepreneurs, and they rated them on all these core leadership competencies. And the only one that women marked less than was the skill of envisioning. The skill and ability to paint a picture, cast a vision, which is a huge skill in sales. You literally need to help people tap into their vision in order for them to know like why you're pitching them in the first place. And when I read that, I was like, okay, envisioning. This is a skill that we really need to bring to the forefront. And when you can do that in your first call with somebody, ask them to share with you what their vision is for their work, their life, their own personal journey. Like, you have a higher likelihood of establishing that credibility, that know, like, trust factor, and importantly, to know if you should even be pitching them. Because you don't need to be pitching literally everybody, right? If the vision does not align with what you pour in, how you serve people, then maybe it's just a friendship. Maybe it's an allyship. Maybe it's a referral partnership. So that's why I wait till the end of a call to even pitch a next step for us. Because like I'm trying to figure out and align with where my vision is, where that person's vision is, and yeah, do we vibe?
Yeah. So one of the questions that I always ask is, what's a win look like for you? Because then it tells me, because one
Is
of
that
the
a
things
good question, Emma?
Huh?
Is that a good question to
I love
ask?
it. I love
Okay.
it. I'm curious if
No, I
people
heard.
have
I saw you go. I saw you.
judge. Emma don't get to judge whether that's a good question for me. It works. Okay, I raised millions of dollars. Love Emma and all that. I raised millions of dollars with that question. So, but anyway, I'm saying that to say, because it's a different way to ask that envisioning piece, right? The like, but yeah, that it's a different way to ask that envisioning piece, because well, here's what you need to know, Cameron. This is why I asked that question. Is because you get money based off of who needs a raise like if you're successful, who gets a raise. So if I'm successful at my work, who gets kudos, who gets a raise because of that. So when they tell me what's a win for them, I can hear who they have to please. And when I know who you have to
How that
please,
who it ladders up to.
when I know who you have to please, I can feed you the direct impact metric that's gonna make that happen for you, and therefore you gonna give me the capital I'm looking for. So that is that is the tactic that I use. But I think the envisioning, it also causes them. I think I like the envisioning question maybe a little better though, because they can get dreamy. You know, and with this, I'm concrete because I'm trying to get to it. But I love that because it's like, what's your vision for this work? And then I think too, when you working with corporate employees, and you tell me if this sounds right too, with different corporate employees, sometimes they don't have as much autonomy. So when you ask them about what their vision is, it lights them up because you may be the first person that day that they actually get to say what their vision is versus like what they trying to sell visions internally, all that. It's like you're tapping into them as an individual at that point. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What have you seen some of the challenges be though for people getting into doing the selling? Like how, what are some of the barriers that people face, or like challenges or fears that you see around like people selling? Because I've had people just overly explain without and thinking that that's the sale.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I understand what you're doing. I got that part, but it's like, what do you see? And sometimes that people are doing.
Yeah. And, I work mostly with coaches, healers, and consultants. And the number one thing I find is people want to gift coaching. They want to gift their experience in lieu of a sales call. So I just had like an audio drop from a client this morning being like, how do I delineate what's a coaching call and what's a sales call? Right. And so I think that's a really big, it's a big struggle for people right now. And personally, like I like to work with my clients on basically branding your sales call to already deliver value by the end of it. So you can basically say that your consultation call is a roadmap call or a blueprint call. Insert a couple hooky words right before then so that when somebody steps into the call, you say, this is how you phrase the conversation. I'm here to help you make a decision. I'm here to make sure that there's like clarity on what you want, why you want it. And if what you want and what you need aligns with how I serve people, then I'll walk you through a roadmap. Once you're aligned on that roadmap, we can then talk about how I serve people, and you can see if the timing works. And if that aligns with what you're looking for, then we'll talk about price and investment. So there's context setting up front on the sales call. Yeah, that like
Can you run that right back? Because I'm gonna have to rewatch this stream. But that is, I was literally taking a note because that is like, I'm here to help you make a decision. I like that.
Yes.
I like that. What part of the call do you say that in the beginning?
From the jump, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can qualify buyers at the top of a call, right? Simply by laying that framework. And if it's a corporate client, you can say, is there anybody else who's going to be a part of the decision-making process who you want to loop in? Sometimes they say it's premature, and then you get off the call in 5 minutes and you've rescheduled it with 3 people because the decision maker you actually want to be in the room.
Okay. Let's talk about, let's talk about the anatomy of a call a little bit. Because I hear you on like you should put that together, Emma. That sounds great.
I literally just launched this YouTube video for free so people can do this.
It's called The Anatomy of a Call?
No, but that would have been pretty great.
No, but I love that.
This is me being. Hold up, Emma. I'm so dialed in right now because I'm in my sales process. So the jokes are all flying over my head. I'm taking everything you're saying as gospel.
Oh,
well, listen, Obi and I are good friends, so we come sometimes.
Right, so we kind of like got the gel already. So she's like, but yeah, the anatomy of a call. So here we are. We're gonna hop on and what do you suggest? 30-minute call, hour call?
45. Okay.
Here we are.
45?
45-minute call. Okay. And let's set it up. So let's say you lightly know what I do. And but you don't, and I know, and I have maybe targeted you. So like I know that I want to talk to you, but you have accepted taking a call with me, right? I kind of know what your needs are, maybe, but like so I generally know, but like maybe you're coming to the call out of curiosity, maybe you're coming to the call because you had some small tie, like, okay, well, I'll take the call because she seems cool. Boom, 45-minute sales call, and I'm establishing that this is a sales call. So I'll hop on with you, and of course we do like intros, like you're like, hey, I'm the blah, blah, blah of the blah, 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 and I'm like, I'm the X, Y, and Z of the X, Y, and Z, and I be X, Y, and Z, and then but do you do that first? So do you at first, okay, thank you. So what do? Okay, boom, let's take it back then. We just got on screen. What do we do first?
First, even before the call, know that you get to embody more masculine energy than feminine energy in my experience. So you're the leader. You're the leader of this call. You're literally holding the container if someone's walking into your room, right? You say, is it okay for me to share with you an outline for how this call will flow? First permission set, right? They say
Okay,
yes.
wait. Don't forget what you was gonna say. What you're saying right now, I don't know if people understand how important that subtle piece is, because it establishes control and it establishes power and it establishes how
Right.
the understand framing and how the rest of the call will go. You haven't even said anything yet, really. But who speaks first? I remember, oh my God, being in so many fundraising calls and thinking like, do I want them to speak first or do I want to speak first? Because I want to listen to them.
Yeah.
Right? Because the more I listen to them, the more I can develop whatever I'm going to say back. Or else I feel like I gave them the power of the call. So I like this. So first, boom, we in it. Hey, first let me give you a little bit of outline on how this is going to go, especially because some people are type A. I am not. But like it also creates like an immediate trust or immediate safety when they
Yes.
come into the call and somebody else controls the call, because 9 times out of 10 they've been on calls all day. Okay, go ahead.
And is it okay for me to share with you an outline for how this call will flow?
Is it okay to give you
Is
an
it
outline
okay
for
for me to
Is it
share
okay for me to share with you an outline for how this call will flow?
That's intentional language because it's permission based. Now, here's the thing. You did say be a masculine energy, but I want to note that permission, and this is okay, don't nobody come for me, but this is general masculine and feminine energetics. This has nothing to do with gender. I want to be clear about that.
Correct.
This is general principles of masculine and feminine energetics where permission falls into feminine energetics. So the control part falls into masculine energetics. And look, I got a whole expert on this whole topic that I can bring in another point. PhD, deeply studied lady that I did a whole course. I did a whole course on masculine and feminine energetics. Actually, you would love her. I should
That's the
connect.
future of work. I'm here for it.
Yeah, it was so dope. I argued so much in there, but it was because I'm like, no, you know what I mean? But it was so dope. Okay, so boom, setting the tone for how the call is going to go. And in this permission piece, psychology there, right, is at play. In this, is it okay to share with you? Because they've now given you permission to share with them. Yes, this outline, but an opportunity. You just opened up an opportunity here. Okay, go.
Great. So we have 45 minutes together, and I promise you I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to ask you some questions about you'd insert your topic. And if I don't think I can help you, I'll know in the first 5 to 10 minutes. If I can't help you, then what I'd love to do is run you through a plan of how we can get you, insert their result. It's like Mad Libs. And if you love the plan, that roadmap, then we'll go through how to work together. If all that's making sense and feeling aligned, then of course we'll run through the investment opportunity and how we can get started together so that you can make a decision for the next steps in your career, fundraising, business evolution. Does that sound okay on your end?
Yes.
Then you say, great, because ultimately the goal of this call is for you to be equipped to make a decision around your next steps in your career, health, spirituality. Is that aligned with what you're looking for?
Yes.
Then, yeah, right. Then and only then do I establish credibility and authority. So if I've never met someone before, I'll say, I'm going to share a little bit about my background. And before we dive in, I want to ask you, right? But I don't ask them any type of like personal questions or anything until they've agreed to all of those things. We've cleared up like are you the budget maker? Do you need anybody else to be talking to? And then this is a script that I will share with your community as well, because it's a free YouTube training plus customizable worksheet. So Cameron, you can download it too. And then you have it. Then you go into like 5 questions that get them really clear on why now, why me, what's their biggest challenge, all that good stuff.
But at what point are you spending 20% of the call just talking about who you are? Have you ever done tactics like this? And I don't know, I'm not saying I did this or do this, but I'm saying that you could do this. Things where like if I notice, because also intuitively, if I notice that their energy is off or they're distracted or they're not dialed in yet, then I may be like, you know what, I'm gonna actually I have something I want to share with you. Let me look. And I'm acting as if I'm looking for it. But then while I'm looking for it, that's what I'm asking to like, is this a business? Like, how's your day usually work? You know, like sometimes I am using that to say like, because they're not all the way focused. And so like I sometimes take time to like bring them into it by sharing with them there's something else that I actually wanted to share that I actually brought that I wanted to give you. But I don't know why oh my God, I don't know why this photo's not working like it needs to work. Let me, hey, let's talk about while I'm doing it. Let me just, and I'm pulling up the thing or whatever. But while I'm pulling up the thing allegedly, I am talking to them. And the reason why I think psychology, sometimes I've done that is because if you just go in talking, people may be a little bit off put by that. And so they kind of like don't know. If they're not very social people, they don't always jump in and talk. But if they think we're talking in the meantime, sometimes they're more apt to talk. So if they think we're talking while I do something else, then they're more apt to like be talking. And then I'm just like talking to them. Because I think like being a human is probably just my sweet spot with it. And getting them to share, getting people. I'm really good at getting people to get vulnerable quick. And so I'm like, oh yeah, how's that thing? Oh, how you like that thing? Oh, I went to this thing. Did you get, and then next thing I'm like, oh, here it is. Then I'm ready. Let's keep going. I don't know if you've ever done things like that, but I have. Not saying maybe I have. For anybody watching, I did it too. Done things like that too.
You're inviting them into presence.
Yes,
is what I'm hearing.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the language. I'm inviting you into presence. There we go.
Yeah. And the 80-20 call is really for like new connection calls. So I don't spend 80% and just chopping it up. If it's a direct sales call, that's when I really use this script. Okay. Yeah. But
what's the 80-20? 80 chopping, 20 work, or 20 chopping, 80 work?
80 chopping.
Bro, you gotta be listening now. We done went over this whole concept. Where was you at?
I was. Yeah. First of all, I wish I could. Can I screen share? I'm deep in the Emma BF. Like I'm looking her up on YouTube. I'm looking. I'm telling you, Emma. I'm trying to see if I can afford to hire you. So maybe I am the budget and decision maker, as you said. I am the budget and decision maker on the call.
Huzzah.
I'm deep in this. No.
I mean, to be honest, actually. Things we won't necessarily talk about here, but y'all probably got more connections than not. Also, Emma was in DC for a bit too, so there's probably some connection on different levels. But what she's doing with the Secret Sales Society is also a little different. We're not necessarily talking about that now. I would love to share whatever you can share because it's a secret. But what she's doing on the back end with the Secret Sales Society could also be interesting for clients that you might need, Cameron. So I think like that is the trading back and forth of like the back end sales piece of like what clients are needing could be interesting. I don't know if you have any candidates in your wheelhouse or people who are considering that, but like that could be interesting too, I think. So what I'll do is I'll send an email connecting y'all. Yeah. So y'all could just have some further like conversation around like what each other's working on.
Because sales to your point, to the overall premise point, I think we build so much time on making something look good. We spend so much time on the product and the process, which we should. But I always tell people, like, if nobody's buying this, this was just a really expensive hobby.
1000%.
And with AI, can I just speak to this real quick, Omi?
Yes, please.
Okay. Because I'm deep in tech too. And we talk a lot about AI, but our next wave is agentic AI, right? So like have the AI be bots that are working autonomously. And as I was deep in it last year, I realized like, yes, sales skills are important and they're only going to get more important. Like as AI is really like like shifting out jobs and building new economies and like really restructuring workflows. Like no matter what public perception of AI, how it shifts, agentic AI is literally becoming our new infrastructure in society, and it will continue to be. So sales specifically is critical, because if you cannot sell either your experience, your value for your next job, or for your services or products, like talk about getting left behind. We can't have that. That's why I'm doubling down. I like never branded myself as a sales coach prior to 2026. And now I'm like, all I do is teach sales, y'all, because this is literally what we need to win.
And it's going to be a differentiator, I think. I think that's what, because now, because of AI, the question becomes, what differentiates you now, right? If we're all using it, then you got to be using it better than the next person, or you got to be a better communicator, because you got to be able to prompt better. You know, you got to be able to govern it better. You got to be able to catch it when it's not giving full information that you need, and then you got to be able to do the back and forth. So I think like they're like building out whole systems around, like the woman earlier was talking about governance, like ensuring that your systems are built out in a way that keeps your AI in line, right? Not your employee in line anymore in the same way. But, you know, the ability to sell, I think is going to be a differentiator. So, yeah. Well, you want to tell people a little bit? I don't know how much you want to say. If not, because I like the Secret Sales Society. I think it should remain secret.
Well, it's still open for enrollment. You know, the secrets happen on the back.
Well,
yeah.
What can you tell everybody? Right. What can you tell everybody about it then? Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah. What I really learned is that 65 to 80% of net new business right now is coming through relationships, right? And so we have to know how to build referral-based businesses. And what we know is that sales is a mind game, but it's also an embodiment game. The people who are selling the best are the ones who are literally showing up with their whole body in it. And they're like, I'm so committed to what I'm selling because I know it's of service. There are very few programs that are teaching embodiment and referral-based business matchmaking in one. And Secret Sales Society does both. So we call it secret because what we do on the inside is not something you're going to be doing on LinkedIn. It's not something you can be telling your grandma about, right? Like it's getting personal, it's getting intimate, it's getting deep, right? And like that's actually where the breakthroughs are happening, because what we need to be doing is building relationships with each other that naturally builds referral-based pipelines. So that's the goal of Secret Sales, is to help you build referral-based pipelines that are in alignment with your vision, your body, and your spirit. So we literally just launched in January. It all came from market research within my community, and we're 2 months in, and someone made a sale just on that simple sales script that I shared here, and they paid in full, and she was lit up. So it really just feels like the beginning.
Dope. Well, I'm excited to see where you go with it. Anything
Thanks,
you got
love.
coming up you want to tell the people? How do people get more information about Secret Sales Society, or how do they join it, or what do they do next?
Thank
Yes.
you. You go to
Notice,
Yes.
I'm right here.
Amazing. If you go to my LinkedIn, you can actually book time directly on my calendar. So we're going to get clear on exactly what you need, what's in the gap, and how to get there. So go to my LinkedIn. I'm also going to be hosting a consistent content challenge starting at the end of March. So if consistency and accountability in your content as a main way to sell has been a pain point for you, it's 30 days, community support. I give you a bingo card of literally all the content that you're going to create, and you're going to get personalized scripts. So we really just clear the roadblocks to you posting for 30 days, selling your current offer, so we can see what's possible in that space.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll connect y'all via email, but I think there's like, y'all should just talk about
Thanks, Omi.
politics things and
Appreciate
what
you
y'all are
hosting.
saying.
Great job.
Cameron is a political strategist, so I think, that'll be interesting. To see what
I
come of
booked
it, if anything.
I just booked some time with you, Emma.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you
now,
so much.
Do you do anything where you're selling on behalf of other people? Like if people hire you to take sales calls, go out and, because I mean, Cameron, I guess that could be something too. I mean, whatever y'all decide to talk about. But I'm saying that I think in alignment with belief systems, where y'all see the world going, all that, I think if you are taking on like selling for other people, I do think it's also a great connect for that too.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excited to chop it up.
Yeah. So thank you for coming.
Thank you, love.
I
So great to
appreciate
meet
you, friend.
Thank you, Emma.
Soon.
All
Ciao.
right. Have a good rest of your day. What a great show. We're at the end of 90 minutes. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the 30-day show. We are at day 10. That means we're 1/3 of the way to 30 days, right? Okay. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much, Cameron, for
Is
being
that
here
you
with
trying
me.
to emphasis on
I was trying to
the
make sure I'm trying to
Aaron?
condition myself to say it, Cameron. It's funny how I want to. So is Cameron's real name Cameron, or is it
His real
actually
name
Cameron
is
and he turned it into that?
Cameron Giles.
Oh, okay. But
Just
he
like
changed it
Wiz
to
Khalifa,
Cameron as
yeah,
as his rap name.
as his rap name, but it's also like another popular rapper's name is Cameron. Wiz Khalifa.
Oh, is it? I didn't know
Uh-huh.
that. Oh, okay, cool. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. This is the 30-day show. We'll see y'all back tomorrow. Shoot for the moon. And if you miss, at least you'll be among the stars. Wait, Cameron, you gotta say peace.
Did you see my face as you started to talk? I just was like, I got caught in it. I was like, she really about to say this. She really about to say
I like that. I like that.
In your light, a better
I'm gonna figure
grasp.
out what. I'm gonna figure one out though.
Oh, man.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Have a super day, everybody. Peace.
Here we go.